you're surrounded by it. So all these stereotypes that that goes along with racism, you're surrounded by all of them.
In prison,
like you're surrounded by the epitome of cracker or nigger or spick or whatever. That's the people you're with. Where the name comes from. Where the reason why people say that about that race is the reason why are those people that you're with. So I mean, you're gonna end up racist. Not to mention the system is separated anyway by race.
So you became a skinhead when you were in prison?
No. I when I was younger, my older brother was sort of like a bigger guy in a skinhead gang, a pretty big, pretty large gang. Like like they ran the whole area, and like it was actually quite large, which is kind of rare for whites to have gangs like that.
Where is this?
This was in Duarte, like Duarte area, like the San Gabriel Valley.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I just took I was a younger brother, monkey see, monkey do, and so I had the whole red suspenders and shaved head and all that stuff, and I had no idea what I was doing. Of course, didn't care. I was just a kid. But yeah, I got out of hand pretty quickly. Because I got a nickname called Knuckles. They call me Knuckles because I used to fight a lot. So it didn't go along really well with the whole gang mentality. It just sort of added fuel to the fire. And I was constantly getting kicked out of school, having to be brought home. Because I just would snap and just I just beat people up. If anybody subsequently afterward was in my way, they got hit too. The teachers, males, females, didn't matter. I was just like a maniac. In fact, the principal offered me one time if I didn't hit somebody for 30 days, that he would buy me McDonald's for lunch and take me to a Dodger game if I just went 30 days without hitting somebody. And I couldn't even do that. I remember that. And I got out of school from throwing a black kid into a holly bush because he stepped on he was doing something real minuscule or whatever, but I beat him up real good and threw him in a holly bush to where he couldn't move because he kept getting stabbed. It was like really one of those rough holly bushes. So I got in a lot of trouble for that. Eventually got sent to my dad in Georgia. And it wasn't really much better being that he wasn't always there. He's a tier 1 special operations guy, like with like a top secret clearance, and there's a demand for that man. And even after he retired, he was a civilian contractor, and he does like extra training courses for tier 1 operatives, like Deltas and SEALs and stuff like that. If later on in their career they want to take these other classes, these courses, and pass them, it just adds to their jacket, So he does one on close quarters knife fighting and halo jumping, like high altitude jumping. So he was never home. He was always at Fort Bragg or Fort Benning or somewhere. So we were just basically, now me and my two brothers, the same ones, they also got kicked out and sent to, not kicked out per se, but my mom couldn't handle it. Because things were just spiraling out of control with us. So we were left alone in Georgia with a bunch of guns and like no supervision.
No parental guidance.
Actually, no. I wouldn't say that. My father, he didn't raise a fool. When he was around, that was his only thing, is he wasn't there. When he was around, he was fantastic man. Like lucky to have him for a father, comparatively speaking to other people. But the fact is that he wasn't there, and we were left to our own devices, and yeah, like I said, we had all kinds of guns and drugs, and it was just madness. My brother shot me one time. I remember I got shot by my brother. I'm not sure if there's too much malice behind it, but nevertheless, it happened. And but the small town that we lived in, they had like this one little urgent care sort of thing. I wouldn't even call it a hospital. It was just sort of a building by the high school. And that day, apparently, they weren't taking any new patients for some reason. I don't know. I think the lady was just being a bitch. Because my dad's a real battering ram of a person. You know, like he's with 37 years in Navy SEAL in Vietnam. He's just
Say no more.
yeah. So we went in there and they said we're not taking any new patients, and I was like 11 or probably 11 or 12 or something. Had blood running down my arm, you know, just got shot by my brother, and they're like not taking any new patients. So my dad pissed off, you know. We got back in the car, drove home, and he said, oh, I'm gonna have to do it, you know, myself or whatever. That's not too much of a strange thing for him to dig a bullet out of somebody. I'm sure he did it many times. But I remember he gave me a white wash rag, a wet wash rag, and told me to bite down on it. And he actually gave me. I remember he let me cuss that day. Because when he did it, like he let me cuss that day, and he gave me a swig of vodka, which is horrible. I remember it tasted so bad. So those two things I remember, and then he cut an X in it and just popped it out because it went through some of the tree. It didn't go quite through my arm all the way. It bubbled up like a big gray pimple, you know, like a really, really big, like tall pimple, and you could see the metal color through my skin, like it was almost out. I mean, just almost out, but because it went through I was standing in front of a tree like this. And my brother was shot the tree, but it passed through just the edge of the tree like this. So enough to slow it down, but not to stop it. So it slowed it down enough to where it wouldn't make it through my tricep right here. And so he just cut an X over it and popped it out like that.
So it went all the way through your arm, came out the other side.
No, it didn't come quite out. That's what I'm saying. It pushed itself all the way to the...
Yeah, but your dad helped it come out the other
side.
side.
Yeah, he cut it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was kind of... That's just a good example of how things got a little out of hand back then. And then,
you make it through high school?
Yeah, you know, I made it through high school. I have what the doctor or the psych whatever told me I had an eidetic memory, whatever that is. Really good memory. So I tested really well, which was didn't make me popular with the academic people. It seemed to drive them a little nuts. My test scores were always better. I had a perfect GPA. My grades were perfect. I was college prep courses, everything like that. But it didn't. How do you say? It didn't
correlate.
Yeah, it didn't match my lifestyle. You know. Because I was.
You didn't have to try.
No, I didn't have to try, and but I was the drug dealer at the high school. Always getting suspended for, you know, I was a bad kid.
A straight A drug dealer.
Yeah, exactly. It didn't make much sense. Honors night. I remember one night at honors, I got the most awards for honors and I was the only one that didn't show up for it.
Wow.
They called my name like a dozen times and I wasn't even there. And so it's kind of weird, but school was really boring. I remember that, and I've been doing drugs ever since I can remember.
When'd you start?
About 7 years old, I guess. 7. Yeah, I took a bong rip at a park of some weed, and drank a 40 ounce beer, malt liquor.
Why do you think that happened so soon in your life?
I believe that I was surrounded by it. I never hung out with children my own age. I was always, when I was 7, the people I was hanging out with were were junior high skateboarder, skinhead, pot smokers, beer drinkers. So I went straight from like, and even before that, I could clean a rifle when I was 3 years old. Before I was even hanging out with older people, I was hanging out with my older brothers and stuff like that, So I've just been, I guess I don't want to say bad, but I've been bad, like my whole life, I guess. Or what the culture would deem bad.
Yeah. Do you think that's just you were genetically predisposed to that, or was it something you were exposed to?
Not genetically. I think it was just the lack of parental presence, I guess. And stuff like that. Like, my father didn't condone any sort of bad behavior or anything. If anything about me and marijuana, I was in big trouble. Anything I did wrong, I was in big trouble until I turned 18 years old and he smoked a joint with me, to my surprise. But I mean, up until that day, he would not have any part of it. He didn't condone any of that behavior at all. We got away with it because he wasn't there. Like,
what's your relationship like now with your dad?
Oh, it's good. Yeah, he's my best friend.
That's great.
Yeah.
He knows what you're going through now?
Not necessarily. It's sort of like I'm sure he does. He's a smart man, But I don't. My dad's like a millionaire, like a really rich, wealthy man, and I don't ask him for money ever. So he assumes that I'm doing okay, and I make a point to do that. My older brothers do it all the time, and I make a point to. The last thing I'm ever gonna do, if I need money, I'm gonna do anything and everything I can before I ask him for money, because everybody else does it, and I'm just not gonna be there.
You're a drug addict with morals.
I guess so. Or, I don't know, drug addict with pride, pig-headed pride.
Integrity.
Yeah, I guess, maybe, I don't know.
What's your drug?
I use opiates, crystal meth. I smoke marijuana, I drink. But primarily, I have to do opiates every day.
Is that fentanyl or?
Fentanyl, currently, yeah, fentanyl. Just due to its potency, nothing else will suffice.
Right.
So I have to do that, and miscellaneous ways of making money.
What's the darkest way you've made money?
I guess prostitution, debt collecting.
I appreciate your honesty.
Yeah.
Because I think that's the answer every male would give if they were honest.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. I just I'm really straightforward as well. Like, it's got me in a lot of trouble with women. If they ask me a question and if they look bad in the dress, I'd say, yeah, you do. I have no
filter.
I'm not euphemistic about anything at all, and it's not on purpose. It's just
you'll be brutally honest.
The easiest way. I'm just about the easiest way. Lying and doing this and that. That's more work for me. I have something. It's just more work. I'm not into that. Efficiency, get it done. So.
Well, I think honesty is what can help you get past.
And
move on to the next chapter.
You'll
stay stuck if you have.
Yeah, owning it. I'm real big on that too. I try to tell my friends all the time, like, just own it. Whatever you do, just own it. If you're homosexual, be the gayest dude around. Like, just own it. Own everything you got.
Are you gay or straight?
I'm straight, and like a very, very straight too. Like, and I've even thought to myself, if I were homosexual, my life would be easier because of some crazy women, But I don't have it in me,
Yeah. But when you're saying prostitution, that's with guys, right?
No.
Oh, with women?
Women, yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, women, yeah.
You'll make money that way.
Oh, tons.
Tell me about that.
Oh man, so I went out cougaring one time, is what we used to call it. Go out and
I thought you meant with guys.
Oh no,
because that's very common down here.
No, it is very common. I just I don't know. I've never surprising.
You're a handsome buck, so I believe that you probably.
I've been approached before, but I've always just, I just can't. I'm telling you, like, I'm so straight, man. I can't, like.
That's great.
I just don't. I don't know why. I don't know why. And by no means, I have no.
love that quality.
I have no problem with it at all. So either sexual preference, and color of your skin or whatever. That has the last thing I would ever consider when decide.
Can I ask you to sit up straight again?
Yeah, sorry, my bad.
I know it's the opiate.
Yeah, exactly. So the last thing I consider is what you like to do with your dick. I don't care about that. It doesn't matter.
So tell me about your prostitution.
So I used to go out cougering and just go out with friends and see who can get the cougar or whatever. Is like an older undersexed married woman. So I did that, and I was an alcoholic at the time. I think probably I was doing opiates as well, but I drank a lot of whiskey, and so I showed her a good time, and I remember she woke me up and she was like she's gonna go do Pilates or some shit, and I'm like, oh fuck, like trying to wrap my head around it, like I need to get up and go, but she's all, no, just can't hang out, and she's all, fridge is here, yada yada. She also left the keys to another car if I needed to go and do something, and a stack of money this high on the dresser, and I was like, what the fuck, I didn't know what was going on. I was gone for like a whole week, and basically, long story short, she passed me around her whole little group of women. That's how I got started. Wow. And it was all the same thing. I'd get woken up in the morning to them already dressed and ready, going to do something, and they'd all leave a stack of money, sometimes in an envelope, on the dresser or the nightstand or something. And
these are married women, single women?
I believe the majority of them were married. However, I never saw any husband.
Right.
Or children for that matter. It was just always a big empty home. Obviously,
you don't know the lifestyles of that.
Judging by the bedroom, several of them were married. I saw men's watches on the thing.
Well, I know of several wealthy married men who share a very nice apartment in a nice part of town that they use for this exact purpose, but with young female.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So this might be their wives.
Maybe their version of
the same thing.
I mean, if it was, and they got some really nice house just for.
There's a lot of money in this town.
Yeah, it's true. We were going to like houses like my house that I grew up in, like huge, like palatial.
No, but these women get divorced, or they.
I guess so. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it could be. Yeah, but yeah.
A bunch of girlfriends get together and they use.
You never know. Yeah, it's basically.
Janet's house for.
Exactly. I got passed around the. I think I was at a party one. I got a party with a bunch of other young dudes. It was like some kind of like little male whore party or something, where like they were like rolling dice or doing something as to which one was gonna get who, and like I feel like we might as well had numbers on us or something. It was a weird night.
Everybody's playing around.
Yeah, I don't know, it's weird. But my mom's actually the one that told me I was a prostitute, because I didn't even realize that's what I was for a long time. She goes, well, you're having sex with these women, and they pay you money for it. And she's like, son, you're a prostitute. I was like, oh shit, I am. So I did it for a while. And then debt collecting, those are the worst things. And
tell me about debt collecting.
Oh, you just go and hurt people, make them pay you.
Are you that kind of person?
Not at heart.
Because I've interviewed some people who are those kind of people.
I mean, I don't think I'm that. I mean, I do it better.
You don't seem to be.
I don't do it. I do it very well, because any job I'm gonna do, I'm gonna do it the best I can. That's just me. Like,
you just turn on a switch and you become that person.
Well, yeah, of course, if that's the job if that's what I'm here to do, that's what I'm gonna do it the best. Because say it's like cutting grass. Say you do somebody's lawn manicuring, and when someone walks by, they're gonna see it. And if it's good or it's bad, they're going to say, who did that? The first thing they say is, who did that? Right? And so if I'm the one that did it, I'm going to want it to be the question asked, because it looks so badass. So I can't have my name attached to something that's going to be done half-assed. So
it's a great policy.
I do it very well, but it's not something I don't get my rocks off on it. It's just like a job. which is another reason why I felt like I should have been able to do the gay for pay thing, because the way I am with work and stuff like that, being able to put aside my whatever scruples I may have. But I can't. I just can't do that.
There's other things involved in that.
Yeah, exactly. I can't. I just can't. Exactly. There's other things involved.
That's not just doing a job right.
Exactly. You have to be present to a certain degree. You know that I just can't. Yeah, but you know, and after that, I had already had some things in prison that it desensitized me to violence, and I did somewhat justify it in my head. You know, as to how badly I would hurt somebody, I would base it upon their character and how they were, because I had to deal with some child molesters in prison. I was 22, freshly into prison. We got 3 heinous child molesters coming to the yard back to back to back, and I was in max security because I was so young and my charges were kind of fucked up, trumped up and fucked up. So youngest guy in line has to fucking take care of the trash, whatever. And I didn't know what the fuck they were talking about, and they pulled me aside. I was looking around for the trash can, what trash to take out. I didn't know that meant, you know, get this person out of here. And I didn't know anything about anything. I had no idea what the fuck they were talking about when they asked if I had a piece, talking about a shank or whatever. I didn't know what they were talking about. I didn't know what. I'm like, a piece of what? I was clueless, you know. I'd never even watched prison movies. I didn't even know anything about it really. And they gave me the most like rickety thing you can imagine. It was like 4 like mini toothbrushes welded together to make like a thick thing of plastic, and then a chili can. I remember it was from an armored chili can lid. An armored chili can. They took the lid off, set a round disc, and they folded it over just a little bit on one side, and stuck that folded end into, got it hot somehow, stuck it into the toothbrushes, and then hammered and sharpened the rest of it flat. And that's what they gave me the first time to go take out this child molester.
It's a prison weapon.
Yeah, and I remember, I'll never forget the walk. I dream about it sometimes still. The walk there to go do it. I was sweaty. I remember couldn't even barely hold on. We had these big foul weather jackets because we were up north at High Desert State Prison. And I remember my hand was sweating so bad in that jacket. And he was way in the furthest part of the yard, as far as way he could be. So it was the longest walk. And everybody knew it. It's amazing how well there's no secret kept on a prison yard. It's like sewing circle, you know. But for some reason, that secret always gets kept. That man never knows that he's going to get whacked.
But everyone else knows.
Everyone else knows. So everyone else is looking at me, nodding their head at me, and I'm just trying to keep it cool, even though I'm about to like explode. You know, like
Your heart's beating.
I can't explain to you what it felt like. I had butterflies. I felt like I wanted to puke, cry, you know, run, or lay there. I don't know. It was so weird. It's the longest walk of my life. Yeah. And then right when I was up there about to do it, I thought of it like a you know, when it gets to that point, you know, it's pulling off the Band-Aid. Like I was a wrestler, so I'd get real nervous before a match, you know, for no reason. I always won, but I would always just like pulling off a Band-Aid, you know. So I did that, and I cut his neck or whatever, and I almost cut his head off completely because I was just, you know, just like adrenaline, you know, and but they thought I was like I was like a badass, you know, but it wasn't. I was just like adrenaline.
You had no choice in the matter?
No, absolutely not. No. You get with the program gets with you. So.
The guy died.
Huh?
The guy died?
Yeah, he died. And then 2 more after that.
Really?
Yeah. But they, I've had trouble dealing with it, but today, I don't mind it so much because what they did was, I saw their paperwork. It was like multiple aggravated sodomy on children sexual misconduct, all these things on children under 6 years old, multiple accounts, sick people, unforgivable acts. I think what I gave them was an easy way out. If you see an eye for an eye, I feel like they didn't get it near as bad as they should have. I feel like they should, be put in a chair and get holes drilled them out for days. Something. So they got an easy way out with me. I feel like, but at first it wasn't that easy for me.
How did it affect you? How long were you in prison?
Well, about almost like 9.5 years.
How did those 3 events affect you afterwards?
Oh, they made my prison life much better. I was instantly elevated to, not many people have that opportunity. I guess you'd say that opportunity. If we're considering that life, and that's that life, what that life is, it's the game. In that game, I did exceptionally well. Even the cops called me Rambo. The cops would jokingly they bring over a stack of mail that one of them brought over his mail, and he goes, hey, write his daughter back, so like, just joking around with me and shit like that. Like, and I remember that kind of fucked with me a little bit because I saw this dude's mail and I was like, oh fuck, then I got kind of soak it in like, I killed this dude, So I remember that mail really kind of fucked with me a little bit. But they would bring me over his canteen, his store, like from his locker, his belongings, like the food and everything. After each one, they'd come through on a count, and they'd bring me big old bags of their stuff, and yeah, it was all new to me. Now it wouldn't bother me so much, but it was just new to me. So going through their stuff, and it's really heavy for me, at that time.
Sure.
But
What regrets do you have in your life?
Regrets?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, very few. Regrets. Ugh. I regret lying. I regret some of the lies I told. Because yeah. So I don't do that anymore.
What would you say is the most important thing you've learned in your life?
Treat other people how you want to be treated. If you don't want it done to you, don't do it to anybody else. It's the easiest way not to be a piece of shit, I think.
All right, Zach.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing your story.
Right on. Thank you.
Wish you the best of luck out here.
Oh, yeah. Awesome.